Good morning. Happy Easter. Welcome back to the house. This is Sean. Hope everyone's having a good start to your day. And for a lot of you folks there on the East Coast, you guys are probably participating in some sort of Easter activities. So hopefully it's been fun and you guys are doing all that stuff. Probably if you have kids. I'll be doing my part here in a few hours. So we've been doing a good old coloring the Easter eggs and doing all that great stuff, and the wifey's cooking. So yeah, we're all kind of doing our part to make it part of the usual annual, I guess, tradition, I suppose. So I wanted to take some time today, this morning. I know I'm like, man, doesn't he take a break? I will, trust me. I will take a break here eventually. But Sunday, let's go ahead and talk about through the first week of April, a little bit about the 2023 coin market thus far. Of course, the coin market makes up of two things. All right. The first one is sealed equity involving bankrolls and bank full sealed boxes. All right. So we're still seeing and encountering really healthy prices from the marketplace. And, I cannot stress this enough. If you guys are looking to make a few bucks in the hobby without necessarily, I suppose, educating yourself with like errors and varieties and all that great stuff, sealed inventory is going to be the easiest low-hanging fruit opportunity for a lot of you. And again, all of this stuff is highly liquid on the online market. Most specifically, eBay is going to be your best bet. All right. Again, don't have the the illusion that you could say, that you could bring a full 2023 bank box to your local coin shop and expect to command the market that exists right now on eBay. That doesn't work. I guess in the real world, things are different. Where you have two different marketplaces. You have the physical in front, the customer facing type. Again, the coin shops, the shows, and things like that. And then you have this other completely different marketplace where it's all online. You have a much bigger audience, and then you have more desirability for quirky, weird things like a bankroll of new coins. I guess right off the rip, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the four main denominations that are currently out there in circulation. We're going to talk a little bit about which ones are the best to sell right now. And in what capacity, are we selling singular rolls here? Are we doing multiple rolls? Are we doing full bank boxes? What's really kind of like the hot button right now in the month of April? So month of April encountered quite a few sales actually for Lincoln cent rolls. We have, and this is both Denver and Philadelphia minted rolls as well, which is actually good news for a lot of you folks there on the West Coast. So we have a Denver mint roll set of 10 rolls. They were all Loomis rolls. A best offer was accepted. This one, I believe, was, I remember what it was. It's either $40 or $50. But we could go and check 130 point, which will give us a much more static view of how much the buy now listings go for. So in this particular case, if we were going to search the price of this one, well, we'll just simply select the listing title like I'm doing right now, Control C, and then go back into 130 point, and then just simply paste that in there, and it'll give us whatever the sold price is on something like this. So $56, so only a $3 discount. And it looks like there were multiple sold of this particular lot makeup, I guess, of 10 rolls. Of course, the seller used the same stock photo. But you can see the prices at one point. This is on March 10th right here. $69. Okay, and they've dropped it to $59 at the end of the month. and then April 9th, another lot for $56. So we're seeing a slow decline. Okay, albeit it's a very slow decline in Lincoln cent rolls. Now these are Denver's. Traditionally, they're not going to be the most desirable because the Philadelphia minted rolls will typically have your mainline errors and varieties if you do come across them. All right, Denver rolls just traditionally due to the exceptional quality control of that particular mint facility, doesn't allow for too many of those errant type of coins to make it out into circulation. So that's for a lot of 10. Here's one roll right here for $8.29. Again, that's pretty good deal right there. Free ship. So I mean, the one singular roll, if you send it out first class, you're gonna end up paying like the $4 shipping. Through it all, you're gonna profit probably $3 on something like that after the eBay fees come out as well. So, again, you're going to have to decide if selling a single roll is for you. Now, we've seen the most success in folks that are selling multiple rolls. So we have another 5 roll lot here, keeping in mind that, at 50 cents per roll, that's only $2.50. What I like about this one, it's actually a better kind of listing because it's an auction. There's 15 bids on this one that accumulated up to $24.50. The seller also included shipping as a separate line item, which is smart. But yeah, this is going to be a first class package right here. So net, this seller will probably end up making, let's see, if we take into account $2.50 for the rolls, about $3 for eBay fees, and then that shipping, you take that off. This person will net out about $18 in profit, which is not too bad. That's actually quite respectable for the market. And again, these are P-mint rolls for this one. Here is a one of each P&D roll for $20. I mean, you can't get better than that. That's gonna be a nice little profit there as well. There's another one roll right there of P-mints for $9.89. Here's another 10 rolls. This one right here are 2022s. So I don't know how this one came up in the search for 2023s when that's what I put in there. Here's another 10 roll lot. This one a little bit cheaper, $31. Of course, that shipping scares most people, $12.55. So when you look at something like this, obviously you combine the cost of the item with the shipping, and that's going to be your ultimate kind of like investment into buying that kind of group. So we're at $43.55. Again, this is a bid up item, so 4 bids. They probably had it on there for 5 or 7 days. Let's see if we can find there's more 5 count rolls, which seem to be kind of like that sweet spot. So if you sell these in lots of 5 or 10, you seem to do a little bit better promoting it that way than you would doing singular rolls or possibly a full bank box. So we haven't seen a full bank box yet. So here's one right here that sold on April 6th for a P-mint. This one was actually bid up 10 times. So again, another 5 to 7 day auction. Newer seller with a feedback of only 3, but $25 face value for $113.50, and that is actually a really good price for those. And that seems to be the sweet area, the sweet spot for full bank boxes, either the P or D mints. Now the D mints will sell for about $10-15 less. Because again, the prospect of holding those long term when there's nothing to really look for other than, bright, shiny new cents that could be a top pop registry type coin, all plays into it. But again, these boxes will enhance in value over time. We see traditionally a 100 to 150% increase in value in 10 years. On these Lincoln cent boxes. So for instance, this 2023 in 10 years will be worth anywhere from $250 to $300. All right. So something to keep in mind. And that's kind of like the way the market has been gratiating itself to these type of sealed inventory investments. So that's kind of a quick little look at Lincoln cents. Nickels are kind of on the light side. Not really a whole lot of opportunity to make a ton of money in nickels, but I have noticed that selling these again in quantity is gonna be where you're gonna ultimately land. Like this person right here continues to do really well, selling 2 rolls of each of the pennies, nickels, and dimes in one lot at $70. So this person right here is popping out $35 profit margins every single time he sells one of these lots, and that is fantastic. So some of you could probably take a page out of this person's book and doing that. Now keep in mind there are P&D sets of each one of those denominations, so that's probably the best possible kind of combination that you're going to want to focus on that particular I guess makeup of rolls. Full bank boxes are commanding currently double face, and that goes for both P and D mints. So yeah, you could do an insta double up on these when you do sell them, and there's not nearly enough of them out in the marketplace right now. So if you're able to come across some of these full $100 face value boxes, that could actually open a door to a pretty nice size profit. You sell like 2, 3, 4 of these a month, and then you're gonna be square dealing. And then we have the seller with more of these combo lots, again doing really well, selling multiples of them every week. Single rolls are selling for about $8. So me personally, that's not as attractive. This one right here, kind of a discount deal on a P-Mint box for a best offer. I'm not going to bother typing in 130 point, but we'll just assume it's like maybe 150. But there you go. A little bit of a here's 5 rolls for $30. Again, not nearly as attractive as selling those Lincoln cents, and they're heavier too. So you're going to have to reinforce the shipping container or the bubble mailer that you're going to put these in to ensure that they're going to get to where they're going safely. Because once these things break apart, it kills the value and the allure of the product. Because people really do buy these just to hold them and sit on them. So keep that in mind. But yeah, another full bank box, $189. So they're not quite commanding double face. There's been a few others in there, but yeah, we're already dipping into March. So that's nickels for you. And then dimes the same way. Not nearly as attractive again. Gross profit is going to be about $2.50 for every roll that you sell, provided that you're able to get around $10 or $11 for them. Good luck with that, by the way. Dimes traditionally on the open market don't have really good resale value, and they're not as widely collected. So that's kind of our rhyme or reason there. Here's a full bank box of Denvers for $3.75, so that's $1.25 in the kitty. And again, you're probably gonna gross out, maybe about $85-$90 after it's all said and done. Here's a full roll for $18 of Denver's. That's kind of an aberration there. They don't typically sell for that amount. Selling them in quantity, again, is where you're going to want to be on these. So we got a 5-roll lot of Denver's for $55. That's $25 face value. So profit will end up being about $23 on something like that. Again, another one of those multi-roll deals. Again, very smart to sell them that way. You notice that they don't have quarters in there because the quarters are a multi-design release again with the American Women series. But overall, I mean, dimes, I'm a little bit kind of, if you do come across them, just keep in mind, sell them in lots of 10 or maybe 5. 5 would be better because it's going to be a lighter package. Then you're going to realize a lot more profit. You could still send a lot of 5 out first class going about that way. I think it ended up being like 12 ounces or something like that. And then finally, quarters. Quarters is going to be a little bit difficult to gauge the best way possible because the U.S. Mint releases the 3-roll PD&S sets. And the sets themselves are not performing like they did last year. They're still selling for slightly above issue price. Issue price was $60 on these. So keep that in mind. You're really not going to make too much money off of these if you sold them that way. And besides, a lot of the value is carried in that estimate roll, which has a reported mintage of about 300,000. So that's where we're at on that. But overall, singular rolls of Bessie Coleman's and the new Edith Kanaka Ole's P&Ds are selling for between $18 to $20. So not really attractive for a resale right there. They're a much heavier item when you do send them out shipping. So keep that in mind. So you might pay a little bit more for the shipping for an item that you're going to make less profit on. So yeah, kind of interesting there, and something to definitely keep in mind. And you certainly don't want to lose money selling these things. Like in this instance here, you're going to be making what, $2? It hardly seems fair. Plus, when you go to the bank, you're going to have to end up coughing up a much greater amount of money to obtain the box. So why even bother? You're probably better off buying the box, cracking open the rolls, and searching for some of the errors that people are currently finding. Like there's a really good one with the clash dies on the new Edith Kanaka Ole quarters. That's a consistent seller for between like $15 to $25. So keep that in mind. That's a great coin to look for. And it's just, again, I'm not one to go out and actually look for the quarters other than to hunt through them. But for reselling them, at this current time, there's just not a lot of love here for this, where I would go out of my way to obtain them just so I could flip them online. Look at this, even a lot of 10, 145, by the time you put all the work in, obviously you're going to have to ship that out in like a priority flat rate small box, to end up taking about $10 of your profit away. And through it all, you're going to end up profiting, $20 on a lot of 10. So, yeah, not very attractive there. Now, here's the interesting part. When we get into actual errors that are being found, this VDB V 2023 Lincoln cent, these are on the Philadelphia minted coins, by the way. Quick little announcement. Ken Potter, who's one of the main attributors of some of the errors and varieties that are being found out there, is currently researching this one as we speak. So he's looking for examples that he can take a look at. He had put up a Facebook post requesting a few of these examples to see what it is. So we are going to, at some point in the near future, as soon as he's done looking through these and kind of like just through the process, the minting process, and all that stuff. Like I had originally thought that it was the working hub damage, like something that hit the hub, and then it translated onto the working die as a raised anomaly, and then struck the coins as being incused into the coin. So I don't know. We do know that the actual working die did not take a hit because it's incused in the coin. All right, which means it would be raised on the die when it strikes whatever device is on there. So I'll show you what exactly that is here in a moment. But the VDB V errors, okay, which looks like an extra V after the initials at the base of the bust. Like someone had sold a lot of 10 of these here in the last day or so. Did not get the opportunity to see how much this lot sold for. I'm willing to bet I'm going to be shocked as well. No, whereas that's not how we're doing it this morning. Let's go ahead and clear that up. I probably need to go back and copy that again. Go back in here. There we go. That a boy. It's a Sunday. All right. Well, $185, which in hindsight is quite a bit of a discount for these because they've been selling regularly for between $30 and $35 per piece. So someone obviously there's like two inner workings to what's going on here. This person did really well selling these as a bulk lot. Number one. Number two, whoever bought it will end up making more money because they're going to end up flipping it on the open market if that's what they want to do. Or I guess the other line of thinking is, great, I just bought 10 of these. I'm going to hold on to them, or I'm going to research them, or what have you. And if Ken Potter did buy this, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he's trying to research these coins and see what exactly that anomaly is and how it happened at the mint level. So yeah, pretty crazy. Let's see if there's a close-up on this one. This is actually a decent looking photo. This one sold for $30. And as you can see, it's got that extra V right there at the base of the bust. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the coup de grace so far of errors being found on 2023 coinage. It's been the most exciting. It's been the most equitable at this kind of money. Well, except for that lot right there, where each one sold for $18. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what that is right there. That's nothing. It looks like die deterioration doubling. People already grading these things. This is interesting right here. This one sold for $150. It was actually from that same guy that sold the lot of 10. He had sent this in to Annex, and Annex actually attributed it as VDB V on shoulder, Mint State 67 red. This is just an interesting development right here. Yeah, pretty interesting. You can even see the V. That thing pops out actually very, very clearly. But yeah, 150 bones for that one, right there. So very, very interesting. I'm just now finding all this stuff out right now as we speak. And $35, $26 on this error. And it's really the only error that people care about right now on these coins. Here's a lot of two of them for $76 shipped. Another one here for $32. And as you can tell, they're not particularly rare, but the prices on them are very strong. And this is, we're only like 2 days in from this point going back into April, and we've witnessed 8 or 9 of them sold already. Actually, more than that if you account for that 10 lot. But yeah, very strong prices on that particular coin, and of course we got light bulbs in here for your car. I don't know why that. Jeez. Yeah, so that's very interesting. Nickel-wise, nothing. Although I put 2023 nickel error, and I'm coming up with Edith Kanaka Ole errors, which look like strike-throughs and various little minor events. But there's a pretty nice sizable die clash on the new Phillies of these coins. Nice solid sale. $25 is what we're looking at per. There's been a few of them sold so far, and yeah, here's one for $13.50, showing a nice little light die clash under the steps in Monticello of Jefferson's Eyes. So yeah, pretty cool. That's really all on the nickel front. There's another one there for $9. So looks like the prices have kind of gone up a little bit. There's not a ton of them available on the open market. Dimes, nothing to speak of. A few little die chips here and there, but again, dimes are dead in any shape or form, and there's been virtually no sales of anything meaningful. Quarters, more of these Incuse machine doubled coins popping up again. They're kind of doing their swan song right now. They're selling for $1 to $2. They came out of the gate hot at like $60, and then now they're virtually worthless. So yeah, kind of refrain from trying to sell those anymore because they're not doing anything for your bottom line. The quarter clashes on the Edith Kanakaole quarters are all the rage right now. Again, we're looking at about $20 sell prices on these. And aside from that, that's pretty much it. There's a few Bessie Coleman die chip on plain. There's some pretty radical little die chips at the tip of Washington's nose that are selling for about $5 to $10 respectively. There was a pretty sizable die chip on the top of the airplane wing, one in which sold for $56, I believe, which a much larger anomaly than what I've seen. So, and right there, that one right there. Now this one sold for $16 on the 6, but there was one other example that had also a smaller die chip right here under at the bottom wing part of that biplane that sold for $56. That one had a little bit more stuff in there, and then you'll see things like strike throughs, like this one sold for $50. You know, not too bad. I mean, it's not a waste of time to go through quarters currently. There's quite a bit to look for. It's not yet nearly as exciting as last year's release. But in any event, it's glad to see that the Mint is still not adhering to their, hey, let's fix it policy on the quality control of the coins, because they're still popping up with a lot of errors, more than they need, I guess. So there you go. That's why I wanted to talk about on the sealed roll and sealed box front, the sealed equity, I guess, and also errors. So hopefully you guys are looking out for some of these. Again, these are all highly liquid on the open market on eBay and nowhere else. So if you're looking to make a few bucks in the process, the sealed roll deal is definitely the way to go. If you can find Lincoln cents at all, whether they're Philly or Denver minted coins, I would certainly take advantage of that. Sell them in rolls of 5 or 10. That's going to be your best bet. But that's all I got for you. Happy Easter, each and every single one of you. Thank you again for tuning in this morning on this one. And go out there and get them. Yeah. And then I'll keep you guys updated on what Mr. Kent Potter believes the VDBV error is. But that's it. You guys have a good one. Be safe. And I will catch you guys on the next hound.